Do you ever lie in bed at night, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago? Or maybe you're trying to make a simple decision, like what to have for lunch, but your mind creates a dozen different worst-case scenarios. If so, you've been caught in the overthinking trap. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, and it feels completely impossible to stop. But what if I told you there's a scientific reason your brain does this? And even better, a scientific way to stop it. Stick around, because today, we're redecoding the science of overthinking, and I'm going to give you the keys to break free and finally quiet your mind. First things first, let's be really clear about something. Overthinking is not a personal flaw. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a feature of your brain's ancient survival software. Think about it. Our ancestors lived in a world full of real, immediate dangers. The ones who overanalyze that rustle in the bushes or that strange shadow in the cave were way more likely to survive than the ones who just shrugged it off. Their brains were literally programmed to scan for threats, to learn from past mistakes, and to constantly plan for the future. And that's a good thing. It's why we're here today. The problem is that exact same software, that same threat detection system, is now running in our modern world. And in our world, the threats aren't usually saber-toothed tigers. They're social situations, work deadlines, uncertain futures, or that awkward email you have to send. Your brain treats a vague text message with the same level of alarm it would a predator lurking in the shadows. It runs endless simulations of what could go wrong, trying to keep you safe. So, it's a feature, not a bug, but it's a feature that's working overtime in the wrong environment. It's like using a supercomputer designed for complex astrophysics to just check the weather. It's overkill, and it's draining your battery. So what is actually happening up there in your head when you get stuck in one of these loops? Well, science tells us there are two key players often involved: the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Let's break that down. Think of your prefrontal cortex as the CEO of your brain. It's the part responsible for all the high-level stuff: planning, decision-making, logical reasoning, and analyzing complex problems. It's the executive in the boardroom. Now, your amygdala is like the company's head of security. It's constantly on patrol, scanning the environment for any sign of danger. And when it spots one, it hits the big red alarm button, triggering feelings of fear and anxiety. Here's where the loop starts. When you begin to worry about something, your amygdala, the security guard, flags a potential threat. It sends an urgent alert to the CEO, your prefrontal cortex. Naturally, the CEO jumps in to solve the problem. But what happens when the problem is vague and unsolvable? Like, what if my boss didn't like my presentation? Or why did they look at me that way? There's no clear solution to find. So the prefrontal cortex just keeps analyzing, turning the thought over and over and over again. This constant analysis keeps the amygdala on high alert, because as far as it's concerned, the threat hasn't been neutralized. This creates a vicious feedback loop. The prefrontal cortex analyzes, the amygdala panics, which makes the prefrontal cortex analyze even more. This, my friends, is called rumination, and it is the engine of Okay, so we're basically fighting our own biology. It sounds like a losing battle, right? How do we possibly win? The answer is not by force, but with strategy. You can't just tell your brain to stop thinking. It doesn't work. Instead, we need to use some smart, science-backed techniques to gently guide it out of the cycle. I'm going to share 3 of my favorites with you right now. Technique number 1 is to schedule your worry. Now, this sounds completely crazy, I know, but trust me, it works. The idea is to set aside a specific, limited time each day, say 15 minutes as your designated worry window. This is the only time you're allowed to actively overthink. So, when an anxious thought pops up at 10 a.m., instead of letting it derail your morning, you acknowledge it. You can even jot it down in a notebook or on your phone. Then you tell yourself, "Thanks for the input, brain. I'll deal with this at 6 p.m. during my worry window." This does 2 powerful things. First, it validates the thought instead of fighting it, which reduces its power. Second, you're teaching your brain to contain the overthinking to a specific, controlled time, rather than letting it run wild all day long. You're becoming the manager of your worries, not a victim of them. By the time your worry window arrives, you might find that many of the day's worries don't even seem that important anymore. Technique number 2 is to practice cognitive overthinking is almost always fueled by negative thought patterns, which psychologists call cognitive distortions. These are things like catastrophizing, assuming the absolute worst will happen, or black and white thinking. The key is to become a detective and challenge these thoughts. When your mind tells you, I'm definitely going to fail this project, and everyone will think I'm incompetent, you need to cross-examine that thought. Ask yourself, what is the actual evidence that I will fail? Have I failed every project in the past? What's a more likely, balanced outcome? If my best friend came to me with this exact worry, what would I tell them? You're not pretending the problem doesn't exist. You're not engaging in toxic positivity. You're simply looking at the situation from a more realistic, less catastrophic perspective, and loosening the grip of that negative distortion. And finally, technique number 3 is to use a 5 senses grounding technique. This is my go-to for when my mind is really spinning out of control. Overthinking traps you in the past or the future, right? The antidote is to pull your brain forcefully back into the present moment, and the fastest way to do that is through your physical senses. It is incredibly hard to ruminate about an email from yesterday when you're fully focused on the now. So, wherever you are, just pause and name 5 things you can see around you. Look for details, the texture of the wall, the color of a book on your shelf. Then, name for things you can physically feel. The fabric of your shirt, the cool surface of your desk, the weight of your feet on the floor. Next, name 3 things you can hear. The hum of the computer, a distant siren, your own breathing. Then, 2 things you can smell. The coffee on your desk, the scent of a nearby plant. And finally, 1 thing you can taste. Maybe the lingering taste of your lunch, or just the neutral taste in your mouth. This simple exercise pulls you out of your head and into your body, immediately interrupting that thought loop and hitting the reset button. Look, overthinking is a habit your brain has learned, not a life sentence you have to serve. By understanding why your brain does it that it is just trying to protect you, and by using these targeted strategies, you can begin to retrain it. You can teach it to work for you, not against you. But like any new skill, it takes practice. So please be patient and kind to yourself along the way. You are rewiring years of mental habits. So, which of these techniques are you going to try first? The worry window, cognitive reframing, or the 5 senses technique? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. And if this video helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more ways to understand your mind and build a better life. Thanks for watching, and here's to a quieter mind.